Hey guys, this will be part 2. So, ang gagawin natin today will be to model our sample structure right here. So, warehouse, basic design lang siya. So, we'll be working with this model from start to finish until i-design natin yung mga members until doon sa connections. Of course, ang gagamitin natin dito will be steel. So, ito yung ating structure given yung mga dimensions niya pero wala tayong mga parameters na additional. So, we will just be working with what is given to us. So, commonly, ganito naman talaga. Of course, this is just a preliminary structure or yung framing natin. It does not mean na ito na yung magiging final na gagamitin natin dun sa actual. We will iterate through yung changes dun sa, let's say, pag nakita natin na may mas maganda na i-reconfigure natin yung structure natin to make sure na mas mura yung or mas magiging economical yung structure, or if may mga portion dito na talagang kailangan ng modification because hindi talaga applicable on site. Anyway, ito yung sample structure natin. We will work with this. So ito yung given ng mga dimensions. Yung bay natin is 3.5, yung total height nung column natin is 4. The roofing is slanted with apex height of 1 meter from yung top ng column natin. Then yung total width ng ating structure is 8 meters, which means that half of yung structure natin is 4. So i-model natin to sa Staad. I've already opened my software right here. So what I'll do is click on new. Okay, ito yung ating new option. Ito yung lalabas sa ating screen. So what I'll do is modify yung mga model information, job info, and then i-click ko yung create. So I'll start with model info. I'll change my file name into steel structure or whatever file name you would like to use. So in this case, I will change the location of my file, steel design sample. So you can either use yung browse dito, or you can just type the folder location or yung directory directly dito sa my input box dito. So in my case, I'll just add additional subfolder dito. So under steel design, lalagay ko dito is sample 1. There are different types. We have yung analytical, physical, and building. Unfortunately, ang available lang sa license natin na academic is yung analytical. So we'll use yung analytical. And of course, ito yung mas intuitive. So anyway, analytical tayo. We will modify yung unit natin to in order to use metric. Yan. And then you can provide title and other options such as yung model seed file. Honestly, I've not used this option of yung software. So, model seed file is like siguro ito yung parang may initial ka ng mga parameters na automatic na i-inherit nung model natin. Well, anyway, I'll just leave yung additional options dito. So, pupunta tayo sa job info. So, I'll just type a job name here. So, warehouse. Initial design. Okay, client name is whatever. So, mas maganda na we use acronyms na lang para mas magaan. Yung kapag ilalagay kasi natin na full, it will just add some additional na burden dun sa ating file. So anyway, I'll just use acronyms or symbols na lang. So client, and then job number is 1, revision is 1. You can include sub-revision, subversions. Yan. Anyway, parts, part 1 or pwede nyong lagyan ng file name and other options such as yung reference. Pero I'll just leave it blank. The engineer that will be working on this project is me. Checker is also will be me, and then yung approval. So pwede nating i-enter yung date or we'll just leave it as blank. You can add comments here. So this is particularly important if you're working on a team. So kapag naka-team kayo, meron kasi tayong convention na sinusundan per company. So, depende na lang kung it is required that you work on yung job info or not. But for basic na personal projects, you can just leave this one blank. If you're already creating your report, so kapag gagamitin nyo yung default na functionality ng Staad na reporting, ito yung gagamitin natin. Importante na lagyan natin to ng info. But since we're working with a solo project, so it doesn't matter. And then after nyan, if all things are set, we can just click on create. And it says here that sample1 does not exist because actually yung folder na yan does not exist on my machine. So it will be created for me. So I'll click yes. So it says that the warning input. So may warning daw dito. 3 errors. Warning found in input file. Would you like to edit? Yes. So may warning dito. It means that ayan, so hindi ko nalagyan ng date. Ayan, so dapat may date yan. Okay, may date yung information natin dito. So I will not be bothering na lagyan yung information yan. Tatanggalin ko na lang to, yung portion na to. Alright? Kasama yung date dito. It's not saving, no? It is being used by another software. Nag-error. Ayan, so na-close yung editor. Pwede akong pumunta sa utilities and then command file. And then ulitin ko na i-delete yung content nung editor natin. Close ko lang yan, i-save ko. So, yan, it's working properly now. Or you can recreate yung file and then lagyan nyo ng date yung dito. So, pwede nyo lagyan ng date. Yan. So, pwede nyo lagyan ng date yung engineer, checker, and then approver. So, with that, I can now start modeling my structure. So, split natin yung screen so that visible yung model natin. Ayan. So what I'll do is medyo malaki masyado yung palitin natin to. I guess that will do. So what I'll do is ito yung software natin, by the way. Let's just discuss about yung itsura niya. So it's just a typical Windows application na yung basic. So you have there the menu options here, and then yung main toolbar natin dito, followed by yung mga workflow toolbars. Okay, and then yung ating tab for yung modeling tab natin. And then yung mga information natin, ng inputs natin can be found under yung right side ng screen. Yan. So under menu, we will start from left to right, and then sa workflow din naman, we will start from top to bottom. So from left to right, yung geometry is ilalagay natin yung mga geometrical, dun sa menu pala, dun sa menu bar, I will start with geometry by providing the information of yung geometrical configuration ng structure. So, structure details, nodes, and lahat ng mga functionalities na gagamitin natin for yung geometry, andito lahat yan. View is if we want to navigate yung model natin. Select is if we want to, yun. Pag gusto natin i-select yung mga elements natin, ito yung mga different options natin. Specifications is yung mga additional settings katulad ng yung mga supports natin, yung mga properties ng material, configuration ng structure natin na additional, and other things related dun sa structure. Loading is, of course, by the name itself, yung mga loading definitions natin, load cases, followed by yung analysis and design, and then ito yung mga additional mga functionality natin under utilities. So let's start modeling our structure. So kapag you open yung analysis and design, ito yung lalabas, no? Yung sa may input natin dito. Now if you want to go back dun sa dating itsura niya, kailangan nyo bumalik dun sa geometry. Yan. And then dun sa may sa modeling tab natin, you'll have to click on geometry also. Yan. So, ito yung default na itsura niya. So, let's start modeling our structure. So, kapag magmo-model tayo, there are a lot of options that we can use. We're not going to discuss them because they're part of yung prerequisite na subject natin or yung sa software applications. So, what we'll do is use yung mas mabilis na paraan to model yung structure natin. So, I'll establish my origin. So, usually, in my case, I usually start with there's something wrong with my model. Ayan. So, yung sa setting ko, naka-inches. So, ibig sabihin, mali yung aking unit. So, it's common na ganito yung nagiging outcome kapag ginagamit natin yung software. Sometimes nangyayari to. So, what I'll do is pupunta ako dun sa file, settings, and then display options, and then structural units. And then papalitan natin dimension to mm. And as you can see, magpapalit siya ng meters. Alright? So, naka-meters kasi yung ating structure dito. So, kailangan nating sundan yung kanyang configuration. Yan. So, imo-model natin yung structure. So, by establishing our origin. So, ang origin ko commonly is nasa 0, 0. So, pupunta ako dito sa may tab dito. So, i-click ko yung X. And then, I'll type 0 and then I'll press enter. And then, may lalabas dun sa aking screen na small dot. Yan yung aking origin. And then, from there, I can start modeling my structure. So, unang-una is, I can choose if yung origin ko na to will match this column right here or node here or dito. Dito or dito. If you want to be a little bit stubborn, you can match this one on yung middle na node ninyo. But it would be a little bit difficult later on kapag ando na tayo sa may mas maraming imo-modify. So, mas maganda na establish natin dun sa corner. I'll use this one as my origin. So, from there, I will model my column. So, ang gagawin ko is, hindi ako mag-i-input dito sa hindi ako mag-i-input dito. So, gagamitin ko yung aking drawing area. So, what I'll do is, pupunta ako ng select muna. So, select natin yung node na kailangan natin. So, nag-error. So, pag ganun, i-click nyo lang yung toolbar, lalabas yung, mag-activate yung select. So, select, and then, gusto ko kasing i-select yung node na to. So, ang gagamitin ko is yung node cursor. And then, from there, I can now copy this one pataas. Okay? By pressing Ctrl-C on my keyboard, Ctrl-C, and then Ctrl-V. And then lalabas yung pop-up na to, paste with move. So what I'll provide here is yung information, yung height ng column ko, which is, in this case, 4 meters. Yan, 4 meters. So dito sa Y, nilalagay ko is 4 meters. So by the way, yung ginagamit natin na convention for yung ating axis is as follows. So yung Y is yung vertical, yung X is yung left or right ng screen natin commonly, and then yung Z is front to back. So ang pinalitan ko dito is yung Y para establish natin yung height. And then once again, pipili natin yung select. Okay? And then yung nodes, node cursor. Select natin yung dalawang nodes. So mapapansin natin dito, mag-highlight sila. And then pupunta tayo dun sa geometry, and then under add beams or beams, ko-connect natin sila along the Y. Yan. So etong yung button na to, connect beams. So kapag may hindi kayo maintindihan na button, tutok nyo lang dun sa tool, hintayin yung lumabas yung tooltip niya. Yung maliit na to. Tooltip ang tawag natin dyan. So, ito ang sabi niya, connect beams. So, intuitive naman, ibig sabihin, connect niya lang yung mga nodes along yung axis. So, i-connect ko siya along the Y. So, one member was created or are created. So, that's my column number 1. So, anong column yan? This will correspond to yung column dito. So, what's next is, I'm going to draw yung portion na to. Yung nakaslant na portion ng roof natin. So, what I'll do is, establish ko yung center ng aking structure. So, in order for me to do that, pagkikreate ako ng node which is 4 meters towards the positive X direction ng screen. Yan. 4 meters papunta rito. So, I can manually provide yung information dito sa may tabulation dito, or pinakamabilis is copy pasting. Mas madali kasi sa akin yun. So, I'll just copy o select yung node na to. Select, and then node cursor, copy paste natin, Control C, Control V, and then kukopyahin ko siya 4 meters along the X positive. I'll press OK. So, ito yung aking center node dun sa top, which corresponds dito sa may portion na to. Then, after nyan, from here, kukopyahin ko siya pataas, going up by a distance of 1 meter. Alright. Then, after nyan, I'll press OK. And then, so, unlike yung ginawa ko kanina, automatic na na-connect yung dalawang node. So, dito ang gagawin ko is, babalik ako sa geometry. So, instead of using yung connect beams, mag-add beams ako. Yan. So, I'll just click this button right here, and then, kiklik ko doon sa may node. Mas maganda, ang convention is, always start, if you're using this one, always start from the bottom node pataas. From left to right. From back to front. Yan. So, ito, from left to right, back to front. So, mas mauna yung aking vertical axis. So, from bottom to top. So, yung node na to, pataas. Manual kong i-create yung aking beam. May iba pa tayong modeling method dito, katulad ng pwede rin naman na ganito. So, instead na kukopyahin ko yan, what I'll do is, i-connect ko tong dalawang nodes na to. So, what I did was Control Z para ibalik ko yung sa undo lang. Undo. Anyway, I'll just create a beam that is connecting these two nodes right here. So, add natin yan. From left to right, yung ginawa ko. So, from negative X to positive X. So, inuna ko yung node na to. After nyan, ito yung next na pinindot ko. So, hindi natin nailagay yung ating slant. So, may madaling option dyan. So, pwede nating i-select yung node na to, tsaka natin i-move pataas. So, yung move is right-click lang natin, and then you have there the option, move, or pwede nating i-press yung F2 dun sa ating keyboard. So, select natin yung node na to, F2, i-move natin ng 1 meter pataas. So, any of the node of the entity being moved falls on the existing. So, etong notification na to, it means that yung node natin is connected to a beam. So, it's either it will destroy yung existing na mga elements natin, or susunod sila dun sa movement ng node. So, I'll just press yes. Okay. But ayaw niya. Okay. Retain. Let me just check. mukhang gumana nga. Wait lang. Control Z natin. So, gumana siya. So, ganito yung original na itsura niya. Now, originally, naka-ISO tayo. Isometric view. So, pwede pala natin siyang palitan under yung view natin, under view, and then, pupunta tayo dun sa may tools. And then, piliin natin yung front view. Yan, para makita natin yung changes. So, what I'll do is, pumunta ako sa select nodes and then select yung middle node natin. Press F2 on my keyboard and then dadagdagan natin or papalitan natin yung Y value ng 1. Okay, yes. Ayan. So, umangat yung ating node. So, hindi kasi visible nung naka 3D or naka ISO. Now, with that, ayan, establish na natin yung slope ng ating roof. So, parang ito yung magiging roof truss natin. Ito yung column. So, what else? Imo-model natin yung kabila. So, ang modeling method natin dito will be to select everything. So, kanina naka-node cursor tayo. So, para matanggal yung node cursor, press escape on your keyboard or pupunta kayo under select. And then, beam cursor. Okay, and then select natin lahat yung mga beams natin. So, kung titignan natin dito sa ating model, symmetrical, we can mirror yung structure. So, pupunta tayo ng geometry. And then, may option tayo dito na mirror. Ayan. So, saan tayo mag-mirror? Anong plane? That would be, ito yung mirror plane natin. Along the Y, Z. So, along dito. Yung plane. So, that would be YZ. And then, anong node yung ating reference doon sa plane dito. And then, there's nothing else to modify. So, I'll just press yes. And as you can see, automatic na na-model yung right side. Yan. So, na-establish natin yung isang frame natin or space frame. Ang susunod is i-model natin yung mga remaining na mga parts. So, yung remaining parts, we can model them manually or copy-paste or mas madali since symmetrical naman yan. We can just use yung option under geometry. And then, ayan, translation. Translational repeat. Ayan, translational repeat. But of course, kailangan muna nating i-select lahat. Translational repeat and ilang copy yung kailangan ko? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. 6 na steps with a distance of 3.5. Make sure na tama yung direction natin. It's going along the negative Z. So, bakit ko nasabi na negative Z? Kasi yung direction natin ng positive na Z. By the way, ito yung mga axis natin, no? Ito yung Y. Ito yung positive X. Ito yung positive Z. So, going towards the back of yung structure. So, that would be Z. Pero, yung steps natin will be will follow the convention. So, negative steps. And automatic yung ating spacing na negative din. So, by doing that, and then pressing yung OK, yan, may model lahat yung mga remaining na parts. Okay? And to check kung tama yung copy-pasting natin or yung repeat ng model natin, select natin to kung 0, 0 pa rin. So far, tama. Yan. So, we're following yung desired na configuration natin. So, next is, i-model natin yung ibang mga parts. So, what I'll do is select yung mga, yan. I'll go to under view and then front view tayo. Select ko lahat yung mga top joints or nodes. And then, balik ako doon sa geometry and then, i-connect ko sila along the Z direction. Yan, 18 members are created. Yan, so we're using different modeling techniques. Next is yung mga bracings natin. Ilagay na rin natin para automatic na matapos yung model natin. Alright, so dito kailangan nating i-manual kasi naka-inclined. So what I'll use is yung add beam ulit. So from top. So ayan. Ngayon dito, anong mas magiging dun sa sinabi ko kanina na convention ng pag-connect ng mga nodes, anong mas magiging or mas mabigat, yung vertical or yung y-axis or yung z-axis? Kasi kung titingnan natin, kung bottom to top tayo na node going in this direction, it will violate yung ating z direction kasi ang sabi natin from back to front dapat sana, no? So ito yung back, palitan natin, ito yung back joint, ito yung front joint or node. But as mentioned kanina, mas magiging priority natin yung top or yung vertical, that would be y, followed by yung x plus yung z. But of course, convention lang yan, ibig sabihin pwede naman ninyong palitan kung may mas gusto kayong preference. So kung gusto niyo magulo, wala namang problema doon. The software will still work. But it would be a little bit difficult later kapag may mga problem kayo sa model. So ibig sabihin from top to bottom tayo. So joint to joint or node to node. Ito rin from node to node din yan. So may cross tayo dito. Please bear in mind na wala tayong joint dito, wala tayong joint connection. Ibig sabihin parang nag-cross lang sila. Okay? So ano pa ba yung mga may bracing? So eto rin, may bracing din tayo dito. Which I violated yung rule natin. So from left to right. Left to right. After nyan, para ma-model ko yung kabila, imi-mirror ko ulit. So, mirror YZ joint number yung roof apex, okay? And then, isa-select ko ulit. So, para magkaroon ako ng multiple selection, naka-press yung control doon sa keyboard ko. And then, so another modeling technique is yung copy-pasting, pero may additional tayo dito na option. So, Control-Z, Control-V on your keyboard, reference point. And then, ang gagamitin kong reference point is this joint right here. Alright, okay. Which corresponds to yung joint na to. Yung joint na to, ima-match ko dun sa likod. So, ano yung match niya? This one. Alright, so i-click ko lang yan and magpo-provide siya ng modification dun sa copy-pasting natin. Coordinate. So that would be negative 17.5. I'll trust the software that it will work properly. So, pipress ko yung okay. So far, wala namang problem. And with that, I've already modeled yung structure ko. And I can proceed with yung next step.